All right, this is the mid-module assessment review. We are going to go through this and find all of the different strategies to finding the missing angles. One thing I do want you to know is this test is really heavy on vocabulary, so you really have to know your vocabulary in order to do well on this test. Just keep that in mind as you're studying. All right, so some multiple choice questions. Number one, two angles that are across from each other. Across from each other means they are vertical. Remember, adjacent angles share a same side. They're next to each other. This forms a circle. This adds up to 90. So those are your different vocabulary words. Number two, a pair of angles when added together is 90. 90 means it's complementary. Supplementary means they add up to 190 or 180. Vertical means they're across from each other. Angles on a point may make a circle. All right, an angle that's 74 degrees, what's the supplement? Supplement means they add up to 180. So x plus 74 is equal to 180. This x that we don't know plus the 74 is equal to 180. So if I subtract from both sides, I get x is equal to 106, choice C. All right, number four. 80 is one of the angles in vertical angles. What's the other angle? So if you want to draw a picture for this, vertical angles mean they're across from each other. So if one of them is 60, vertical angles are equal, so the other one would also be, oh, it wasn't 60, it was 80, sorry. I was confused when that choice wasn't one of the answers. All right, so that means the other one is 80, choice C. Vertical angles are equal. All right, number five, okay? It says in each problem, we're going to set up and solve equations for unknowns. So looking at this diagram, there's two letters, S and T. You cannot put S and T in the same equation. So we have to figure out one of them first. I'm looking at this 90-degree angle right here. And that 90-degree angle is made up of two smaller angles, T and 79. So my equation is going to be T plus 79 equals 90. Those two together form the right angle. So I'm going to subtract 79 from both sides. So if I take my calculator and do 90 minus 79, I get 11 degrees. So that's this little piece right here. So now I have to find S. And I notice that S is on a straight line. And I know that straight lines add up to 180. So there are four angles here, S, 79, 11, and 19. I'm going to add them up. So S, 79, 11, and 19 will add up to be 180. So let's solve. So take my calculator, 79 plus 11 plus 19 is 109. Subtract 109 from both sides. So 180 minus 109 gives us 71 degrees. So S is 71 degrees. Notice two letters, two equations. All right, part B. Here's another diagram where I asked to find M and N. Once again, two equations, two letters. So I see a 90-degree angle here, which means this is also 90 degrees. So inside that 90 degrees, I have M and 43. So M plus 43 forms the 90-degree angle. I'm going to subtract 43 from both sides. I'm going to bring my calculator in. 90 minus 43 is 47. I'm going to go back to my diagram and label that 47 degrees. All right, now I see a straight line here. That includes 38, 43, 47, and N. Since it forms a straight line, they all add up to 180. So 47, 43, and 38. So I'm going to add these together. So 47, 43, 38 is 128. Subtract 128 from both sides. So 180 minus 128 is 52 degrees. So there's your two answers for that one. All right, next page. All right, number 6, set up and solve an equation for A. So I'm looking at this diagram. I see that I have two lines that form an X. These angles are across from each other, which means they're vertical angles. Vertical angles are equal. So A plus 33 is the bottom one, and that's equal to the top angle, which is 49. To solve for A, I'm going to subtract 33 from both sides. So bring in my calculator here. 49 minus 33 is 16. And I'm done. All right, number 7. We have a diagram here. Notice that we have all 5 angles. They form a complete circle, which means they add up to 360 degrees. I'm going to go right around the circle here. 2x plus 3x plus 2x. There's a 2x at the bottom. Plus 36.5 plus 36.5, and that's equal to 360. 2x, 3x, and 2x is 7x. 36.5 and 36.5 is 73, which is equal to 360. I'm going to subtract 73 from both sides. So 7x is equal to 360 minus 73 is 287. Divide both sides by 7. So just divide by 7, and you get 41. Now, we're not done with this question because it actually is asking us to find 2 different angles here. So I'm going to move this up. I'm going to find DAG first. I'm going to trace that with my pencil. DAG. That's labeled 2x. 2 times 41 is 82 degrees. The other angle is GAH. So GAH is 3x. 3 times 41, do that in my calculator, multiply that by 3, is 123 degrees. So there's our 2 angles that we were trying to find. All right, number 8. Okay, right here in our diagram, we have 2 angles. They form a right angle. We know that right angles add up to 90 degrees. So my equation is going to be x plus 8, that's my first angle, plus 2x equals 90. Now I have an x and a 2x, that's 3x. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, so 3x is equal to 82. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So 82 divided by 3 gives us 27 and 1/3. 0.3 repeating is the same thing as 1/3. Now it's asking us to find 2 angles here, so I'm going to go back up. Angle AOB. AOB is x plus 8. So 27 1/3 plus 8. I'm just going to hit plus 8 in my calculator, and that gives me 35 1/3 degrees. And angle BOC is 2x. So I'm going to take 27 1/3 and multiply it by 2. So 27 1/3 times 2 is 54 2/3. And those would be my 2 angles. All right, so the last 2 questions on this test, notice they do not have any pictures with them. If there's no pictures, you need to set up your let statements. Remember, let statements look like this, where you have angle 1 and angle 2, and you're identifying each angle and deciding whether they add up to 90 or 180. So it says 2 complementary angles. That means we're going to be adding up to 90. And they have a ratio of 4 to 5. Remember, a ratio of 4 to 5 means one of them is 4x and one of them is 5x. You're just going to add an x to it. We know these add up to 90. So my equation is 4x plus 5x equals 90. Well, 4x and 5x is 9x. So divide both sides by 9, and x is equal to 10. Now, it does say to find both angles, so let's find angle 1 first. Angle 1 is 4x. I know x is 10, so 4 times 10 is 40. Now let's do angle 2. That's 5x. So 5 times 10 is 50. And there's my 2 angles. Let's practice that again. Let's go to number 10 on the very next page. This one says the measure of the supplement, so that means I'm adding them up to 180, is 25 more than the measure of the angle. 25 literally means 25. More than in math means to add. The measure of the angle we don't know, so we call that x. So let's set up our let statements. Angle 1 is going to be x. And angle 2 is going to be this statement right here, 25 more than x. Remember, more than means you have to switch the order of that. So we really write it as x plus 25. These two angles add up to 180. So let's set up our equation. We have x plus 25 is equal to 180. So x plus x is 2x. Subtract 25 from both sides. So 2x is equal to, let me pull this in, 180 minus 25 is 155. So we're going to divide both by 2. So divided by 2 is 77.5. Now we have to find both angles. So I'm going to come down here. Angle 1 is just x, so that's going to be 77.5. And angle 2 is x plus 25. So we're going to take 77.5 and we're going to add 25. So just add 25 to that and you get 102.5 degrees. And there's your two angles. Like I said, you should know this review sheet inside and out, along with the vocabulary that's going to really help you on this test. Happy studying.